Imagine a world where the NHL's brightest stars are no longer tied to their respective teams, where the concept of loyalty and longevity is a thing of the past. It's a daunting prospect, but one that's becoming increasingly plausible. As we count down the days to the start of the new season, the rumors are swirling, and fans are on edge. Are you prepared for the possibility that your team's franchise player might be gone sooner rather than later? The NHL rumor mill has been in overdrive lately, with speculation surrounding some of the league's biggest names. Let's take a closer look at what's been happening. In recent days, we've seen the ongoing saga of Connor McDavid's non-existent extension with the Oilers. Despite being the best player in the world, McDavid has stopped short of ending the speculation, leaving fans and pundits alike wondering what the future holds. Then there's the situation in Vancouver, where fans are growing increasingly worried about Quinn Hughes and the possibility of him joining his brother Jack in New Jersey. With 2 years left on his contract, Hughes is set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2027. And the magic number of 2 is also the number of brothers he has playing for the Devils. It's not just about reading between the lines anymore. It's about reading what the players are saying. Meanwhile, Penguin star Sidney Crosby has expressed his desire to stay, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. Given the reality of the Penguins' likely performance this year, the trade chatter won't go away, even if Crosby would like it to. And beat writer Josh Yohe thinks a blockbuster might actually be the best for all parties. But here's where it gets interesting. We have a new name to throw into the mix. Minnesota's Kirill Kaprizov, who needs an extension to keep him away from UFA status next summer. The Wild have been open about wanting to get this done, but reports have Kaprizov turning down a deal that would have made him the highest paid player in league history. If that couldn't get a long-term deal done in Minnesota, what will? Maybe nothing. The counterpoint to all of this worry is that it's the NHL. And star players don't switch teams. Sometimes there's drama, and fans and media will always speculate. But eventually, the star players stick around. Relax. But is that still true? We've already seen one of the league's best wingers choose to switch teams this summer. And that came after a season in which another superstar was traded not once, but twice. With a rising cap and a new CBA, is it possible we're about to enter a new reality where NHL stars actually move around? It's a question that sparks debate and one that we'll be keeping a close eye on. And this is the part most people miss: the impact of a rising cap and a new CBA on player movement. It's a complex issue, but one that's crucial to understanding the current landscape of the NHL. So what do you think? Are we on the cusp of a new era in the NHL? One where star players are more likely to switch teams? Share your thoughts in the comments below. But before we dive into the world of speculation, let's take a step back and look at some of the other interesting stories from around the league. It's Player Tiers Day as Dom, Shayna, and other Sean bring you a ranking of 150 players, grouped into 5 tiers ranging from MVPs to support. Prepare to be mad. Scott and Harmon have their top 20 names to watch for this year's Calder Trophy. I was going to make a joke here about Habs fans being mad that Lane Hutson isn't on the list, but I'm guessing they'll be okay with the top pick. More from Harmon, the top under-the-radar moves of the off-season. Myrtle has a look at which player could be the NHL's first $20 million man, and the names who already pulled it off in other sports. The Athletic Hockey Show kicked off its buying-selling series this week, with Hayley Salvian and Sean Gentili breaking down the Atlantic and Metro divisions. Which teams will improve or decline, additions and departures, and more. Now, let's get redrafty in here. Prospect expert Corey Pronman has spent the week redrafting the past few NHL drafts, using the benefit of hindsight to figure out which players should have gone higher or lower than they actually did. It's largely been good news for the scouts and GMs, at least at the very top of the drafts. But speaking of redrafts, You knew I'd find a way to turn the topic into a weird thought experiment. Which draft did the league get right? We can all point to drafts where the best player turned out to be a surprise. But my question comes from the other side. Which draft looks the best in hindsight? Or put differently, is there any draft that wouldn't change much? Even with the benefit of hindsight. Not counting the very recent drafts that haven't had time to play out, there aren't many options. But I think there's one that works pretty well. The 2009 draft. That was the one that saw John Tavares go number 1, followed by Victor Hedman and Matt Duchene. They were viewed as the draft's big three, with a drop-off to the next tier that saw Evander Kane, Braden Shen, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Nazem Kadri taken. A full 16 years later. I think you could at least make the argument that the league got the top 7 almost exactly right. Tavares is over 200 points ahead of anyone else in the class. But you'd still take Hedman with the top pick if you could. We could argue about the order for picks 4 through 7, but we don't hit a true bust until the 8th pick, where the Stars found one NHL game from winger Scott Glennie. And there isn't a single big name outside of round 1 beyond Ryan O'Reilly, who was the 3rd pick of round 2. So sure, flip the top 2 picks, add O'Reilly into the mix somewhere in the top 3 or 4, and move Chris Kreider from 19th into the top 10. But other than that, the scouts kind of nailed it. Not bad for a draft that's now old enough to drive. And finally, let's answer a trivia question. If you said that the only player to match Crosby's 2 decades of awards ballot consistency was longtime rival Alexander Ovechkin, well, you were close. He has award votes in 19 of 20 years, with the only exception coming in 2023-24. Niklas Lidstrom missed a few seasons early in his career, while Wayne Gretzky missed a few late. Gordie Howe had a record streak of 24 seasons with at least 1 vote, but was shut out in both his first and final years. No, the only other player I could find was Ray Bourque, who had votes in all 22 of his seasons. And he didn't rely on any stray Lady Bing ballots either. He finished no lower than 7th in Norris voting every single year of his stellar career. Love red light? Check out The Athletic's other newsletters.